You're listening to Gist of Jess, and tonight's topic is my mid-century boots. Mid-century cocktails. I am Jess Marquez, and this is another one of those wonderful podcasts to myself that I never broadcast. But because I've been doing these boot videos, and they're so stiff, and I think it's just because my husband's filming me, and I feel like I'm very contained, and I'm just kind of sheepish and stunning at the same time about sharing my boots with people. But I also really enjoy connecting with people about cowboy boots. It's really neat. So mid-century cocktail is just forging ahead on this plan to make 100 pairs of fancy inlay boots, and just, hey, there's an idea. Do you want to do it? And so black patent leather boots, in my life, I have hiked dogs and worn very practical clothes so many years of my life, but black patent leather boots, this is a first for me. Metallic, silver, I've never lasted anything metallic. That was interesting. Just so many little details in this. And I just like doing inlay. So, I can't follow protocol anymore about anything. I just am going to do the way it's going to be and be aware of every nuance in boot making to make it as good as you can possibly make it. So, mid-century cocktail, the glass, the martinis on the front. I've never actually had a martini because, out in New Mexico, you tend to order enchiladas and a margarita. I guess to me a martini is like an East Coast drink, and I've just never really thought beyond a margarita. So, and honestly, we have one bottle of tequila a year, I think, my husband and I. We're, we just really aren't big party animals or social drinkers or whatever. Even before the pandemic, I just used that as an excuse for, we don't like to go out, or I don't. I'm making this stuff to go out in. I'm always say I go out once a year or twice a year, maybe. So, these boots are really, I don't know if anybody listens to crooner music out there, but you just can't not listen to Stanley Black's Moonlight Cocktail album from 57. That's sort of if you look at that and listen to it, you'll see mid-century cocktail boots in it. Well, you might. And then Henry Mancini, I love that, and different, just, my husband and I were even talking about Perry Como and just generational coming of age, decades, certain, music that you grew up with or that you heard. And I was mentioning this to one of my older friends. I have a lot of older friends, and she was like, oh yeah, I remember growing up watching Perry Como, and I loved the Perry Como show. So, it's just always interesting. I don't know, to have a good diverse group of people that although I don't know that many people these days. But these boots, occasionally. But I do put a lot of energy into these boots. I do think they're really cool. I'm very thankful to have gotten this far in it. And I just kind of go into a state of just concentrating on it and see, okay, can I do this any better? And I think the other part of these boots, just this couple on the balcony, very New Year's, very just a party boot, and this idea of this 50s glamour, and I find it interesting. I found this a movie, No Down Payment, from 50 whatever. What a great film. No Down Payment took away every, this idea of post-war American suburbia where, it's just this happy families and little clean neighborhoods and cookie cutter houses, and it really wasn't that at all, although we kind of reflect back on this idea of a simpler time. But I really, obviously, even for somebody that's liking hiking clothes for so many years, I can still appreciate the beauty of the 50s dresses and the fashion and design of that era. So, and then I've also watched Breakfast at Tiffany's, which I had never seen it before, and I think this last winter, on one of those freezing cold rustic homesteady days, I think we watched that. And I guess it was kind of depressing in a way. It wasn't, I guess that was the point, was that it wasn't this mystique of fashion and presentation of the self. I don't want to sound all like I'm doing some huge, deep review on it, but deep and meaningful, whatever. But it was kind of an interesting, the little black dress idea and those types of things. And, Moon River is not my favorite song ever. No, it's not. It's just, but there's a lot of other kind of croonery music that I think is fun to listen to or reflect on. And I really think that the Henry Mancini, this Dreamsville, is one of my favorites. So I'm listening to that right now while I talk about Mid-Century Cocktail. But I also used a little bit of Stingray in this, which I just happened to get some scraps from somebody, and that was all the turquoise Stingray. And yeah, it was hard to stitch with that. And it was kind of interesting to just try it, I guess. I just try to do stuff and see, and if I take my time, usually I could get somewhere with it. But I'm really pleased to get this far again, like I said, to get these boots done. And, I'll come out, I just have a hard time sometimes just sharing stuff on Instagram or social media. Sometimes I just, I just am so, I tend to be quiet about what I'm working on. And I think it's just because of so many years of, oh, are you sure you can do that? Well, should you do that? And, oh, well, how are you going to do that? And so I just figure, when people talk about I plan to do something, I kind of feel like, well, let's just get through it and then go, bang, there it is. Kind of what I'm doing with Mid-Century Cocktail here. But yeah, I mean, as I get more set up, I finally have everything. I can, and keep working on this old house and everything else that we're doing, then I just really look forward to the next couple boots. And yes, they are planned, they are coming, and I just am so thankful for some of the things that have happened to be able to do this boot thing, because it's just as frustrating as it is to learn something like this. I think it's also just so worthwhile, and it is a lot of fun to wear boots out. So anyways, this is Mid-Century Cocktail. I look forward to sharing the next pair coming up as well. You can find me on Instagram at Bootmaker New Mexico, and if you search Jess Marquez Boots on YouTube, you will find me. Thank you for listening and watching.